From Aberdeen to Bologna to possibly Juventus. Is there a faster rising Scottish star than Lewis Ferguson? It doesn't look like it. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Some major news today, and that is that Italian giants Juventus are interested. They are looking and are possibly wanting to acquire the services of Bologna's and former Aberdeen player Lewis Ferguson. Now, it's not every day a club the size of Juventus come looking for you, and we know that Lewis Ferguson has been performing well in Serie A. He's done well for Bologna. He scored a few goals. He's impressed in appearances. He looks a good player, and there's no doubt that his move from Aberdeen to Bologna has been a success. But I didn't expect this. I didn't expect, after 7 short months from him moving to Bologna, that the likes of Juventus would be coming in and would be interested in taking him to their team. So I think that's absolutely massive. Now, Lewis Ferguson has downplayed any sort of links to Juventus, any interest in Juventus. He came out after playing Roma and said the following, I quote, "I want to keep up the performance levels and look forward. The championship is long. We want to score as many points as possible. I'm fine with Bologna. I like playing in Serie A. I've been here for 7 months and I want to continue working to improve and grow." So that's all fair. That's fine that him saying that, but you've got to be honest, man. If Juventus are interested in you, if you are linked with Juventus, that must turn your head. That must get your interest. It has to. It has to pique your curiosity, man. You cannot be human and, hear that Juventus are interested in you and think nothing of it. Now, as for Lewis Ferguson, I always thought he was a good player at Aberdeen. I'll be completely honest, though. I didn't think that he would attract or ever play for a club like Juventus. I thought a Bologna was a good level for Lewis Ferguson, and I thought he had the ability to play at a Bologna, but I never thought that he would go beyond that level. And the fact that Juventus are interested in Lewis Ferguson, I think it's crazy. Now, I'm not saying that that interest isn't, deserved. I'm not saying he hasn't earned that. He's been very good at Bologna, and I think clubs in Scotland should have been looking at him. When I say clubs, I mean more specifically Rangers, but I guess there's only 2 clubs that he would have considered leaving Aberdeen for, and that would be both Old Firm sides. However, a lot of Rangers fans weren't interested in Lewis Ferguson. A lot of Rangers fans were saying Lewis Ferguson wasn't good enough. And I think it's just another example, of a player playing in Scotland, playing outside the Old Firm, that he was an option right there. He was right there for either Rangers or Celtic to come in and take a chance on, and they didn't do it. Kind of similar to John McGinn. Writing was on the wall. Celtic should have paid the money that Hibs wanted, but they were just being too stingy. They wouldn't pay up, and then Celtic lost out on John McGinn. Brendan Rodgers wanted him. Brendan Rodgers didn't get him, and he went to play for Aston Villa, and we can see how he's improved since then. So I think Lewis Ferguson is a player that Rangers should have took a chance on. They haven't taken a chance on, and for me, it's a massive loss, because the guy has got so much better, I think, just in the space of 7 months. So yeah, I think Lewis Ferguson is one of those talents that the Old Firm let go. And as for Aberdeen, I'm sure they will be hoping that he moves on from Bologna, as they do have a sell-on fee that can rise. It depends on how much he goes for, but I think they've definitely negotiated a sell-on fee. I'm not sure the amount. Apparently it could be around $500,000. Now, it's said to be locked in, but I imagine if Juventus come in for a bigger offer, Aberdeen will get more than $500,000. But as soon as he leaves Bologna, Aberdeen will profit. So they'll be wanting Ferguson to leave. Maybe they should have got more for Ferguson. Maybe they should have got some sort of percentage sell-on fee clause. Not sure exactly what it is, but I mean, we look at Scottish players. Look at the amount of players that have left Scotland over the years. There's so many good young players coming through that are going on to bigger things. You've got Kieran Tierney was the kind of first one to do it. Well, actually, that's a lie. There was Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson was the kind of the first. Then you had Kieran Tierney. You had John McGinn. You had Josh Doidge. You had Calvin Ramsey. You've Aaron Hickey. I mean, there's so many young Scottish players that are leaving and going on to fulfil their potential. And this is probably the best generation of Scottish players I can remember. So you know what, I think it'd be great if we have a Scottish player playing for Juventus. I think it'd be great, but at the same time, I'd hate to see Ferguson leave Bologna right now in the January transfer window just to sit and rot on the Juventus like reserves or bench. So if I was him, I would personally stick it out for Bologna for a little bit longer, but it's up to him. I don't think he will move. I think he will be with Bologna until the end of the season, but we'll see what happens. You know, Juventus coming for you. It's not every day that happens. But let's move on to some other news here. So Rangers were recently, as of today, you know, linked with Lawrence Shankland. However, according to former Scotland international James McFadden, there is no chance of Hearts captain Lawrence Shankland signing for Rangers. James McFadden has come out and said that Hearts would want approximately $3 million at least for Shankland, and that Rangers would not pay that. So I agree with James McFadden in a sense. I don't think Rangers would pay $3 million. Not because they can't afford to pay $3 million. I just don't think Rangers would pay $3 million to a fellow Scottish club. I just don't see that happening. I think they'd spend it on a foreign player, but I just don't think, we've seen in the past that Rangers and Celtic are just reluctant to spend any sort of serious money on players from other Scottish clubs, and in the past it has led to them losing out on a lot of players, like I mentioned earlier in the video, John McGinn for one. So I don't see Rangers paying $3 million for Shankland if that's how much Hearts want. I'm not sure how much Hearts want, but I imagine now Shankland being the top goal scorer, he is the captain due to injuries. He's still got quite a long time left on his contract as well. It's not going to be cheap. I don't know if it's going to be $3 million, but it certainly won't be cheap, and I just don't really see Rangers paying it. And another player Rangers have been linked with, and it's a player they've been linked with before, and that man is Sunderland striker Ross Stewart. So it seems like despite a manager change, despite Gio leaving and Michael Beale coming in, Rangers are still interested in signing the Scotland international Ross Stewart. Now, according to Dean Jones, Rangers do want to bring the 26-year-old to Glasgow, and he says that in terms of wage, it would be 10 grand a week. That's how much Stewart would be looking for, approximately. So 10 grand a week. Look, that's doable at Rangers. Rangers can pay 10 grand. Not a big problem. However, the same journalist, Dean Jones, has claimed that the reported asking price for Sunderland's Ross Stewart is £10 million. I mean, what the fuck is that all about? £10 million for Ross Stewart? You've got to be shitting me. I don't think Ross Stewart is a £10 million player at all. I definitely don't think Rangers would be spending $10 million. I mean, that would be pretty close to their all-time transfer record, and they will not break that. $12 million for Torandre Flo, they're not going to get anywhere near that. And if they were going to spend $10 million, if they were going to splash cash like that, it certainly wouldn't be on someone like Ross Stewart. So if that is the asking price, if that's how much Sunderland actually want for Ross Stewart, then it is fair just to rule Rangers out of this completely, because Rangers just will not. They will not sign him for that. It's as simple as that. There is no way Rangers will pay 10 million. I don't think for anybody, let alone Ross Stewart. So if Sunderland want 10 million for Ross Stewart, the deal is done. As in, not done completed, as in done, as in over. There's just no way Rangers will pay that. But who knows? I mean, I personally think they would maybe accept half of that. Even then, Rangers, would they pay 5? I'm not too sure. What we've seen in the past, when was the last time Rangers spent big money? You know, they spent like, was it 7 million on Kent? And I just don't see them paying anywhere near that for Stewart. I really don't. But I think they do need a striker. You've got Morelos, who looks like he could be on his way of the club. You've got Kamar Roof, who's had a lot of injury problems over the past like 18 months. Will Roof ever return and be the player that he once was? Will he ever have that same important sort of role that he had like a couple of years ago? There was one point when Roof was at Rangers and people actually were debating whether he should be starting over Morelos, whether he should be the number 1 striker, and that was against a Morelos that was good. But we all know since then, due to one reason or another, Morelos has dipped, Roof has dipped, and I just don't think either of them are the strikers that Rangers need at the moment. So Rangers do need a player up front at the moment. They have got Čolak, and they've only got Čolak, but even him, a lot of Rangers fans aren't exactly happy with Čolak. They like his goal contribution, and you can't really complain. He is a good finisher, but he doesn't really add much more than that. If you take away his goals, and I'm not saying goals aren't important, obviously they are. I mean, if you're a striker, you need to score goals. It's as simple as that. But if you take that away, if you take the goals out of his game, he doesn't offer that much more. And I think a lot of Rangers fans want a player that is a bit more complete and a player that offers more. Is Ross Stewart that player, though? I'm not entirely convinced, especially not at 10 million. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for your transfer football news today. Last thoughts on Lewis Ferguson. If he went to Juventus, that would be a massive move. I would love to see a Scottish player playing for the Italian Giants. I think it'd just be so good for Scottish football to have a Scotsman in a Juventus team. But in my opinion, the move's too soon. I don't think he's ready for it. And I think it could, I wouldn't say ruin his career, but it could set him back a bit, you know, if he just goes to Juventus and sits on the bench and then has to leave in 12 months or 18 months. At the age he's at now, it's important for him to be playing regular football, and he can do that at Bologna. I don't think he can do that at Juventus. So if I was Lewis Ferguson, and I'm not, and I wish I was playing for Bologna and making the money he's making, but I'm not, and if I had to recommend him, I'd say that he stays at Bologna. But of course, turning down Juventus would be pretty hard to do, wouldn't it? I'll never know though. Anyway guys, that's it. Let me know what you think down below. We'll catch you in the next football video. The more transfer news that happens, you'll hear it here first. But until then, been Fog Football. Thanks for watching, and peace.